Metatron also explained to me that the salutation, Kodosh, Kodosh Adonai Sebaoth, should be used to discern the spiritual from the negative heavenly forces.
Mm.
The salutation sets in motion a resonance pattern with the throne of the Father, which the negative forces cannot use when greeted with the salutation.
The Book of Knowledge was the first book to point out the alignment between the Great Pyramid and the constellation of Orion. It was also the first book to show the direct relationship between DNA coding and the divine name. We are told how those who govern the power upon the earth are those who have fallen from the higher heavens and now indwell in the stars known by earthmen as Ursa Major. From this threshold gate, they control one of the major entrance points into our local system from the higher heavens, and how the masters from previous cycles were cast down to these stars from which they now govern the lower planetary worlds and the karmic penalties that were assigned to each. We are told how Earth was part of a biochemical testing zone using both fallen and divine thought forms in determining what type of intelligence could eventually free itself from the countless physical rounds of existence controlled by the fallen. And that the New Age will bring about a complete reorganization of the Earth's life system as the human creation begins to operate with a new magnetic and electromagnetic creative power. Along with this communication device of Kodosh. Kodosh Adonai Tesbaoth, used for salutations with the Brotherhood, I was given instruction to use the specific light and sound harmonics of 66-6, 99-9, 12-12-12. The pattern of 66-6 is used to identify you with respect to the Earth's vibration. The pattern of 99-9 indicates that you have picked up a Merkaba vibration and that you are receptive to whatever instruction is at hand. And the pattern of 12-12-12 is the vibration of consciousness transportation. The Book of Enoch contained theological ideas and narratives that clashed with the established doctrines of Judaism and later Christianity. Another factor in the book's exclusion was the lack of association with the apostles or the early church leaders who wrote the New Testament. The book's content was deemed inconsistent with established religious teachings, particularly the Torah. The Book of Enoch, including sections like the Keys of Enoch, was excluded from the Bible primarily because it was not considered authoritative by early church authorities, believing it wasn't written by the Enoch of Genesis, but possibly by a deceptive spirit from the underworld that portrayed himself as Enoch to the original writer, bringing glory to a number that the Gospels and revelation of Jesus Christ warns against and specifically associate with evil. In the story of the Prophet Muhammad, he was bewitched by a Jewish man in Medina, the place where the Quran just so happened to first be recited. It is reported from Ata that Ibn Abbas said, "A devil called Al-Abayad came to the Prophet, in the form of Jibril, and cast these words, that is the satanic verses, upon him, and the Prophet recited them." In a religion called Gnosticism, a diverse set of ancient religious systems that share the belief in a hidden or secret knowledge as the path to salvation and liberation from the flawed material world. Central to Gnostic beliefs are the ideas of a transcendent, unknowable supreme God, the creation of the material world by a lesser, flawed deity, and the existence of a divine spark or divine essence within humans that needs to be awakened through gnosis. While many of these Gnostics, particularly Docetists, believed that Jesus was not truly human or embodied in a physical body, they viewed his earthly appearance as a manifestation, an illusion, or an appearance to teach humanity. This could be correspondent to the origin to a verse in Surah An-Nisa, 157-158, of the Quran, where it states that, "We killed the Messiah, Jesus, son of Mary, the messenger of Allah, but they neither killed nor crucified him, it was only made to appear so." 1 John 4. Dear friends, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world. This is how you can recognize the Spirit of God. Every spirit that acknowledges that Jesus Christ has come in the flesh is from God, but every spirit that does not acknowledge Jesus is not from God. This is the spirit of the Antichrist, which you have heard is coming and even now is already in the world. You, dear children, are from God and have overcome them, because the one who is in you is greater than the one who is in the world. They are from the world and therefore speak from the viewpoint of the world, and the world listens to them. We are from God, and whoever knows God listens to us, but whoever is not from God does not listen to us. This is how we recognize the spirit of truth and the spirit of falsehood. According to Islam, there's a book that Allah gave to Jesus, and by the time of Muhammad, no Christian alive knows that it ever existed according to the Quran, so obviously they don't have a word for it. So in his wisdom, what word does Allah use to refer to Jesus' book? He calls it the Gospel. He refers to the true book, using the very same word that the Christians use for their false books. And comes with a different spirit, another Jesus and a different gospel, just as the Gnostics did several years earlier. 2 Corinthians 11:4. For if someone comes to you and preaches a different Jesus, not the Jesus we preached, or if you receive a different spirit from the spirit you received, or a different gospel from the one you accepted, you are most beautifully tolerant of them. And the Jewish rabbis who were angry with Jesus for healing a blind man on a Jewish holiday, Jesus tells them that they emphasize the law and that the true works of God were on the inside, which they neglected. Jesus instructs us not do what they did, for they didn't practice what they preached.